To build a life so good it brings you tears of joy. There's so much information out there about how to get money and how to have time freedom, how to escape the 9 to 5, how to travel the world. But I feel like no one's talking about the thing that matters most to real men, which is not the money, it's not the physique, it's not how many followers you have and how many likes you're getting. It's living a life that you love, that you're proud of, that you're so excited to live every day. So I'm going to paint a picture here for your future of what could become of your life from where you are today to where you could be. All the most important things that have happened, that have transformed me. And I understand if you're listening to this and you're like, how could life be so good? It brings you tears of joy on a regular basis, that it emotionally lights you up to the point where you're on fire, you're excited about life. I was down and didn't know how to get through my days for many years during my teens. I went and traveled the world so that I could find something else. I wanted to find a culture somewhere that made sense that I could be a part of, because I didn't feel at home in Australia, working 9 to 5, living the way other people were living. It never made any sense to me. It looked like they're missing something. There has to be more than this. And I know most people feel that in their teens and their 20s, but I never settled. What I did along the way was follow the intent. So within you, there is an intent that says something needs to change. You need to go in this direction. Some of the intents that I've followed were, you need to get yourself healthy again. The intent to get myself healthy again led to all kinds of new knowledge. How do you get yourself healthy? If you're listening to this and you're not super healthy, the first thing is to place high value on that physical freedom of strong health. It's much more difficult to build a business, to build a relationship, to have a happy family, to be athletic, if you don't have that foundation of health. I got myself to the point of chronic fatigue. I was getting headaches every time that I would train. I was wanting to stay in bed, had bad problems with my gut because I neglected this side of my life. What did I do to fix it? Well, first I went into paleo diet, and then I went into keto diet, and then I went into carnivore diet. And I found that eating a more meat-based diet was much better for me. Personally, taking out the fruit was also quite important. Playing around with intermittent fasting was also really, really valuable to be able to reset the mind, reset the body. You have to exercise some form of restriction. If you're going to be in excellent shape, if you're going to be lean, it takes some form of restriction. Now, people will tend to push you towards calorie counting as the solution to get lean. But I personally have never used that method, and I don't recommend it because it does matter what nutrients you're eating. All calories are not equal. The calorie from protein is different in the body to a calorie of fat or a calorie of carbohydrate. They cause different hormonal responses. In an oven, they might be the same, but you are not an oven. And so it's important to learn and to understand this. When you understand this and you give your body a rest from food from time to time with some fasting and intermittent fasting, when you move away from consuming carbohydrate consistently or sugars in particular, then you're able to give your pancreas and the insulin system a rest. There's a lot of depth to go into around this topic, but finding the solution that allows you to enjoy robust health, where you're getting healthier and healthier, your mood improves, your gut improves, your skin improves. This is a worthy journey, and there's a whole system inside for you to go deeper into that if that's something that you value. Also, loving yourself enough to stop the self-harm. A lot of the health issues that I had probably came from eating all you can eat, junk food and soft drink, and then going and drinking way too much. I was binge drinking in my early 20s, late teens. Move away from those habits that you hate yourself for, brother. Don't do things that you're not proud of. If you can stop doing things that you're not proud of, especially those that are damaging your health, a whole new world of opportunity opens up to you. No one ever got mugged by a donut. When you break the addiction, when you break the habit of eating foods that were designed to decrease your quality of life, and then you don't want them anymore. You start to look at them like that's not even food. And I understand that there are fitness influencers out there who are jacked and they train really consistently and they're super disciplined with their diet, and then they eat a donut, they eat a pizza. Sometimes they're injecting their hormones and playing around with all kinds of stuff. Sometimes they're not. But for most people, if they indulge in stuff, in foods that they're not proud of, then it takes them down a negative loop, a negative hole. So this is a great place to start, is value your health. Be healthy. Be as healthy as you can be and take pride in being healthy without stressing about it, but get to bed, wake up at a good hour, look after yourself, eat foods that you're proud of, look into some of the methods that I've spoken about here. Even more important than that, and underpinning that, is loving yourself, loving your life, like having a reason to do this for. What is your mission? If your life goes to plan, what will it look like? If you can have a mission, if you have a plan for yourself, if you want to be proud of the life that you live as a father, if you want to be a grandfather, if you want to build a solution that goes out to the world, you solve a problem. If there's something about the world that annoys you, chances are there is. If you dedicate your life to building a solution around that in a positive way, then your life will get better. Having that in mind is a reason to be healthy. It's a reason to have some discipline around other areas of your life. Do things that you're proud of. Do things that you love most. You move towards what you love most. If you love being able to live your mission, then you won't have space for things that are going to decrease the quality of your gut, the quality of your skin, the quality of your mental clarity. And continually adjusting and resetting that. This is never going to be complete. This is another lesson here, is it's a constant rebalancing process. The ideal diet for you right now might be slightly different in the future. You have more carbohydrate tolerance as a younger man than you do as a man over 40 or over 50. You don't tolerate carbohydrate to the same extent. Your insulin doesn't work to the same degree. And so your solution today might not be your solution tomorrow. In business, things are going to change. As you build your mission, you might end up having more staff, or you might end up needing to do more travel, and this will change things that you're doing in other areas. So it's always going to be a rebalancing process, and enjoy that and know that it's good. It's always going to change, but it's good. Another thing that is on your mind as a man, and was on every man's mind, is a partner, a woman to have children with, to be with. Now, a lot of men initially don't think that they want children when we first start to work together. But as your self-esteem improves, one of the things that comes out of that is you look forward to the future and you look forward to having children. The biggest reason why men in the West are choosing not to have children is because they don't value themselves, and they wouldn't want to see another being that in some way replicates their way of being. And that's a sad truth. But as you start to love yourself and respect yourself and do things that you're proud of, and you're eating well and you're building a mission, you're developing your physical capacities, you're going to want to find a partner. You're going to want to find someone to share life with. This is an innate drive within us to procreate, to create. Creativity is a drive that's within all of us. And so that then becomes the source of a lot of stress, because the programming that we have around relationships comes from our parents, comes from television, comes from movies. Everything teaches us drama. Everything teaches us the plot. The concept of the plot is that there is a victim, there is a villain, and there is a hero. And which role will you play today? Are you playing the hero? Are you playing the victim? We move between these roles. We get stressed out about it. We have massive dumps of adrenaline and cortisol, and it kills our creativity. It kills our energy. I know, because I lived in that way in my relationship for many years. As a father and as a husband, moving within that cycle of drama and the plot is no way to live. But it doesn't have to be that way. Just because we've seen that example set doesn't mean it has to be like that. And so when you learn more about yourself and your own energy and your own emotion, then you can bring that to a relationship. And the big idea here is exit the plot. Don't ever go into that drama cycle. Don't be the victim, don't be the villain, don't be the hero. Now, initially, you're not going to be able to necessarily be fully out of it. I wouldn't say I'm fully out of it still. There's elements of it still in my life. But you can be much less in it. I don't get those massive adrenaline dumps of, I'm going to explode. There's a continuum between anxiety and being extremely angry, anxious, and enjoying your life so much, being so grateful for everything that exists around you. I know it can be funny even to hear that sort of language of life is so good and I'm so grateful for it. But it can be like that. And when you're consistently going to that place and experiencing, this is amazing, I love this life that I get to live, you don't get to the other end of the spectrum very quickly. And it can become a habit to exist in a higher emotion. How do you do that? You practice it. You practice going to that state and consistently going back to that state. The best way to learn about this is with children, especially with babies. You can see the joy that they have. I know some people would be like, well, babies are always crying, but they're not. They only cry if something's wrong. They only cry if they need to tell you. The rest of the time, they're in that state of pure consciousness. They haven't been engineered into different emotions yet. So this different experience of relationships is very possible. And you see how all of this goes together. It's so much easier to build a business and to be able to believe in yourself and to not go and binge eat when your relationship is positive and calm. The woman in your life may not want to have this conversation. She may not be open to change, but she can't be in the drama cycle with herself. If you refuse to play the other role, then the game can't be played. The act can't go on. The show can't go on. And so you can change that act. You can change that show. You can change that drama. You might not be in it right now, but if you look back, chances are you can see in your past where you've been extremely emotional about things that are happening that you're frustrated with. And the cool thing is that exiting the plot in your relationship also gives you the opportunity to exit the plot in business. I was just speaking here with Jay, who's here visiting me in Mexico right now, about how I used to be really disappointed if there were less people on a call. We have our group calls. We're there to teach. We're there to learn. We're there to grow. And there's a big network here, but sometimes there's not as many people as I would expect to be on a call. And so if I want to be the victim with that, if I want to be down on myself, why don't they hear? Why isn't it working? Then that's an emotion I can choose to indulge in. But if I choose not to indulge in that emotion, I choose to get on with the tasks at hand, the things that I can do, the things that I can build, then that's a much stronger, more positive energy. And so the relationship, and especially children, and learning to love and enjoy the process with your children. We choose to homeschool our children, and we choose to have a lot of time with them, co-creating a life. They have a natural energy and enthusiasm that is lost in adults. And I'm constantly challenged by my children for how much they love life, how enthusiastic they are about everything that's new, opportunities to learn, their open-mindedness. We think that we're here to teach them, but if we take the lessons and the way that they're living, then there's so much growth, so much opportunity. And every stage that a child goes through is perfect for that stage. Yes, they're going to develop and they're going to be different when they're adults, but learning to play and to exist at the way and the level that they're existing at is a huge opportunity for personal development for every adult. And so if we can have beautiful relationships and we have great health and we're building our mission and we can monetize that mission once we feel comfortable about that process. Initially, most men are more scared of public speaking than death. A lot of guys don't feel comfortable about public speaking. They don't want to put a video of themselves up on Instagram stories or make a reel or be on YouTube or stand on the soapbox on the corner or go to the pub and tell a story in front of a group of strangers. But they're even more scared of selling something. But if you have a lot of value to give, then there's nothing wrong with offering that to other people. If you don't have a lot of value to give, then there's something wrong with that. If you do have a lot of value to give and you're not offering it to other people, well, there's something wrong with that. You have the opportunity to exist in the mercantile class, in the class of creators and those who are giving and sharing, providing solutions to the world. I would love to support you to go through the development to feel comfortable with that process. Everyone I speak to has the possibility to monetize their abilities. It's the self-development journey towards feeling comfortable about that and building the skills towards it that is the worthy journey. And so that business piece, if we have that business piece and we're developing the fundamentals for that, the foundation for that piece is to be able to learn new things and be the openness to take on new experiences. Everything I'm talking to you about, whether it's shifting your diet, whether it's shifting the way that you do your relationships and deal with the emotions, the relationship with your children, starting the business, they're all changes, right? They're all internal shifts. And so my system starts with simple changes that prove to you that you can rewire your brain. If you can rewire your brain, if you can put a new pattern in there and make something automatic that isn't current automatic, then you can make success and being the way you want to be automatic. I used to feel very uncomfortable about speaking to camera. I used to feel very uncomfortable about speaking to groups. And then I coached groups of alpha males in groups of 10, 20, 30, and I led them. And I led them in such a way that they became world champions. So you can change. You can be the person you need to be in the situation that you want to be successful in. So how do I prove that to you? Well, I prove that to you through proof of neuroplasticity in skills like juggling, in skills like beginning to speak another language, in skills like being able to do handstands. And within each of these journeys, I love also showing you that it matters how it's taught. It matters how I teach it to you. It matters about your ability to be enjoy the process, to not be anxious, to find freedom and playfulness through the process. A lot of adults are so nervous and so anxious that they can't learn. They just want to run away. As soon as they start dropping balls in juggling, they want to run away. You can't win in life like that. No one starts at the top. Throwing the balls and them hitting the floor when you're wanting to juggle is success. It's success because you've started a feedback loop. Every time you start a feedback loop, you are winning. You might be scared of the feedback. Oh, the balls hit the floor. If they're eggs, okay, they're done. But if they're juggling balls, there's no consequence to the balls hitting the floor. And when you launch a business and you put a video out there, a sales video, and no one buys, there's no negative consequence to that. The feedback loop is, okay, people see it and they don't understand it or they don't like it. Creating feedback loops is winning. Men are scared of feedback loops because they don't want to receive the negative feedback. Balls will give you gentle negative feedback. You can't 3-ball juggle yet. You can't 4-ball juggle yet. You can't 5-ball juggle yet. At some level, nobody can do it. I think the record's 15 balls or 13, 14 balls. I don't really care. What I care about is, do you understand that you can rewire your brain to take whatever it is that you're here to do to a new level, your experience of life? It does require different patterns of thinking. It does require different energy. It does require using your personality type and your gifts in the best way that you can do it. And so that's what I'm challenging you to do. And if you can see that you can go from this juggling business feels really uncomfortable, and then 2 minutes later, it's pretty easy. If I can show you a drill, okay? Oh, this is really tricky. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that. I feel awkward about it. And then 10 seconds later, this is fine. What's next? It's going to be the same with everything that you want in your life. If you would like to be a great public speaker, if you would love to have a beautiful, passionate relationship with your wife, if you would love to be deeply connected to your children, it's all patterns of thought, of energy, and they can all be rewired. So it's not just the mechanical thing of, yeah, I could 3-ball juggle now. It's what emotion is coming up when the balls hit the floor. How are you feeling about getting started with your practice for the day? And so I can prove to you that you rewire your brain. So then it's in your court. How do you want to rewire it further? What do you want to be able to do that you're not currently able to do? And that's it. We do that for the rest of your life, for the rest of my life. And I want to be around men who've made that decision. Simple as that. And I don't care if you juggle or you box or you do handstands, or you foot juggle. Personally, I choose to do all of them. I choose to expand in many directions because that's what I enjoy. And there's symptoms. They each have their benefits for longevity, turning your body upside down, being able to track things visually, extreme hand-eye coordination. All the methods have their mechanical benefits, but it's more the spiritual, energetic benefits that matter most. So if you're the kind of man who's willing to throw the balls in life and you're willing to say what you really want, then this is how you can get it. So becoming extremely athletic and being able to do things that at the moment seem impossible to you is very important. If you grew up boxing, I don't care about your boxing ability. If you grew up doing gymnastics, good. It's good. You've got the mechanical ability, but on a spiritual level, you need to start with something new that you feel extremely uncomfortable with and you have low ability with, and you need to persist with that joyfully to the point where you're really doing that thing well. Doing that in multiple areas of life and being able to teach that to others and being able to pass that on to children. That's how we build culture. That's how we build beautiful villages. You turn up with what you have to show and what you have to build. That can be with building physically. That can be with plumbing and electricity and building houses. And teaching that to men who haven't had that experience is a beautiful thing. There are no useless skills. There are no useless capacities. All the capacities are valuable. And the philosophy is that we continue to build our capacities. There are 9 areas of capacity. I've been speaking about some of the specific ones: getting the business, getting the family, getting the health, getting the athletic ability, having the great relationship with the children. These are some of the specific ones that are generally front of mind for people. But there are 9 capacities to develop. And when you develop those 9 capacities, you get freedom in these areas that we're talking about. Time, money, and geographical freedom is not enough. You see people who have time, money, and geographical freedom, and they're still miserable because they don't have emotional freedom. They don't have intellectual freedom. They don't have personality freedom to be able to move between different personality types based on the situation that they're in. So this is the journey that I'm going on, that I'm encouraging others to go on. And I want to experience this. I am experiencing this in physical locations that are custom designed for these experiences. So you get to be around other men who've decided to build their capacities and experience higher levels of freedom, higher levels of joy. They want to have that experience together with families, with children. Not everybody wants this, and that's fine. Some are happy watching the TV, drinking their beer. It's just not for me. And it's not for a lot of men who are drinking the beer and watching the television, but they just never really got asked a question or invited into a better life. If you can see that pursuing these abilities is something that you would like to do, the commitment and the method is that you have an hour a day that you put into this. And that hour a day can be the time that you currently spend training, because you don't need an hour to develop your physicality each day. If you don't have other areas of your life under development, I would encourage you to spend less time on your physical development. Generally, everyone does have 2, 3, 4 hours a day to be able to develop themselves, develop the things that they would like to be able to do. Some of that is how you get money. Some of that is how you build your legacy. Some of those skills that you wish you always had. You always wanted to be able to play guitar and speak Spanish. It's common ones. Do it. We've got methods for it. And the system is you start that hour, you have set out what you would like to do within that hour, and you cultivate in yourself the gratitude and joy that you get to go through that hour, and you learn. And you do it over and over again, and you get better and better, and you become more and more proud of the man that you are, more and more comfortable that you live in a life that you love. And that time and that freedom is going to expand as you become more capable. Other people want capable people in their lives. It's very difficult in many parts of the world now to employ people who are okay with themselves, let alone great, let alone bringing creativity and positivity. There's a lot of broken people in the world today carrying around massive bags of shit from things that have happened in the past. This is an invitation to move on from those things, cultivate a new future. So it's 1 hour a day, and you set up a sequence of things, or you start that sequence and you complete that 1 hour sequence. And within that 1 hour sequence, you check in with 1, 2, or 3 brothers about what you did for the day. You send a voice note to say what you did. This is the proven method. The most proven method for habit change is to have an appointment set at a certain time with someone else. So if the appointment's set and you know you're going to have that check-in with that person, you set the alarm on your phone. You can either tell them, yeah, I didn't do it today, or you can share the win. You can share the positivity. You can share the energy. This is the best system of accountability that there is. People turn up to rugby training, football training, workshops that they've paid for. When there's a set time and there's someone else expecting them to be there, that's the most powerful method. But then when we go back to our normal lives, we don't set those times for ourselves. And it sort of doesn't matter. I can either watch YouTube or I can create something. I can either write my book or I can watch someone else doing their thing in life. There's more distractions than ever, but we're not proud of the distractions. We can get dopamine hits from watching other people's new stuff, or we can get dopamine from doing the thing that we're proud of, from being able to throw that boxing punch just that little bit better than before, being able to tell the story a little bit better, making the video. The fun is in the expression. You might think, I don't need that. I'm not ego driven. I don't want to make videos. It's not about the ego. It's about expression. The universe is for expansion and for expression. When you express yourself, when you get your ideas out to the world, it's innately rewarding. The reward is built into it. My children spontaneously scream with joy when they do something fun. When I'm throwing them for back somersaults in the pool, or they're surfing on my back. We play all these different games that I've never seen any other families playing, that just spontaneously came into our lives because we want to experience joy together. I want to share them with you. I want you to show me what you're doing with your children. For us, our families, to enjoy space together, enjoy meals, co-create. It might sound like too much of a stretch, like it can't be like this. This sounds fun, but I've got so many responsibilities with my mortgage and with my work and with this and that. And my wife's not like your wife, and my children aren't like your children. And I get it. There's an internal dialogue. So you come back to the triangle. Victim, villain, hero, or just exit that, find your true nature and move forward. Are you really here with me now? Can you feel what I'm saying to you? Do you know that this is coming directly from the heart, from lived experience? This is my absolute truth, and a direct invitation to you to experience life. We get more athletic each day. We improve your health. We have connections and friends all over the world. And you invite others into a better life in the way that makes most sense to you, whether you're a meditation teacher, whether you're a personal trainer, whether you're an engineer, whether you're an architect. It doesn't matter in which area you would like to contribute. It's fine to have a job. It doesn't change this. We all have the opportunity to create and to do the things that we're proud of, and we need to do that. If you're doing something that you really don't like, and it's taking most of your life, and you'd like to do something else, then we need to wire in new patterns. We need to entertain new ideas, test those ideas. That's the fun of it. Balls hit the floor, feedback. Feedback is success. Balls hitting the floor is success. I've helped hundreds of men now, probably a few thousand, a little bit less directly, to be able to get to the next level, to get to a life of freedom that they couldn't really see before, to be proud of themselves, to be creating. So I want you to be part of this network. I want you to be meeting these other men, challenging them, turning up in the villages in Vanuatu and Montenegro And there's more and more coming. We're building in Portugal, we're building in Greece. Men within the network are inspired enough that like, yeah, I can do this. I'm going to make this happen. But we need other men who've made the decision, I want to live an excellent life. I'm willing to live an excellent life. Are you willing to live an excellent life? If you are, this path works. This is a proven path. There are many millionaires who've come through this path. And the money is just one symptom. It's just one thing. If you don't need any more money to do what you want to do, if you want to live in a simple life, a simple house, and really pursue your art, your music, your poetry, whatever it is, beautiful. If the training, the physical development of yourself is what you really want to do it with all your heart. If you don't really care about the money, but you want to help thousands of people, then get your message out there. Generally, at some point, you're going to realize that making more money makes it easier. You get better results because you get better buy-in. Adults pay attention when they pay. When they pay attention. It's a worthy journey. You can take the journey. You can do it. You can transform yourself. You can go from wherever you are now and however you've been feeling about yourself in your worst moments. It can change. It changed for me. There's a simple method. These are the areas that we work on. There's other men that are doing it. We connect on a daily basis. We get together in physical locations. If you have other questions about it, if you'd like to co-create it, you'd like to be a contributor towards it, welcome. Let's build. Let's build what we love. That's what the best men have always done. They've built what they love. Too many men at the moment have given up on building a life that they would love to live. This is your invitation to start building again. Live in a way that you're proud of. Challenge me. Bring something to me that I need to learn. I can put it into my daily stack, whether this month or next. I'm putting this time into developing myself, developing my language, developing my business, developing my musical abilities. It's a beautiful life. It's another model of life. It's a philosophy of life. If it's for you, then welcome. If you have other questions, please feel free to ask. Bye for now.